For most of the show, Azula is untouchable.
You mean it's not obvious yet?
The girl who almost killed the Avatar took down the impenetrable city of Ba Sing Se and made generals twice her age look like amateurs. How on earth did she end up here? But Iroh, her uncle, the wisest man in the entire show, knew this was coming, and he spent 3 seasons warning us about it. Azula is the answer to every warning Iroh ever gave to Zuko.
Zuko is a failure. I have a task for you.
I want you to feel how impossible that image of Azula kneeling on the ground looks before I explain how it became inevitable.
I will not hesitate to bring you down.
Look, I think we can all agree Azula is ridiculously strong and a genuinely terrible person. She makes blue fire, which almost no other firebender in the world can do. She also throws lightning, one of the rarest and most advanced techniques in existence. And this is the part that always gets me. She's just 14 years old, operating at a level the show's adults cannot consistently match. When Iroh himself describes lightning, he calls it
precise and deadly, like Azula.
In the Book 2 finale, she takes Ba Sing Se, the fortress that had never fallen in the 100-Year War, and she does it with strategy alone, turning the city's own secret police against the man running it, and bringing the whole government down from the inside.
Any hesitation, any weakness at all, I will snuff it out.
Later, she strikes down Aang mid-transformation, and it takes a vial of spirit water to bring him back. She outplays everyone in her way, and she barely breaks a sweat doing it. But before we get to Azula's collapse, we need to understand Iroh.
That came out wrong, didn't it?
From the outside, he looks like the lovable uncle with the good quotes and the tea obsession. And don't get me wrong, that is mostly his personality.
Why don't you enjoy a cup of calming jasmine tea?
But that framing misses the most important thing about him.
How I got the nickname, the Dragon of the West.
He's as nonchalant as ever about it, but yup, Iroh is the Dragon of the West, the Fire Nation's most feared general. He laid siege to Ba Sing Se for 600 days. Nearly 2 years, he stood at the walls of the most fortified city in the world, and he believed in conquest, in glory, in the Fire Nation's right to rule. He was like Ozai before Ozai had the throne. He believed in the same things, operated within the same system, and produced the same kinds of results. And then, one thing changed everything.
Little soldier boy, come marching home.
He's singing about his son, Liu Tan, and he died in that war. This might be the saddest scene in the entire show. Iroh, alone at a little shrine at his son's birthday, singing him a song about a soldier boy marching off to war, while everyone back home waits for him to come marching home. Liu Tan never marched off and never came home. That moment is the hinge of everything, because that's when the system Iroh had been operating inside collapsed on him. His son was dead. He abandoned the siege. The conquest was pointless now.
Happy birthday, my son. If only I could have helped you.
Look at what the Fire Nation does with pain. Ozai burned his own son's face and called it a lesson.
Will learn respect, and suffering will be your teacher.
Pain is a tool. It's there to make you harder. So by that logic, Iroh takes the worst loss a person can take and comes back sharper than ever, angrier, more dangerous. That's what his brother would have done. That's what the nation was built to produce. But Iroh did the opposite. He walked away. He spent years traveling, studying other nations, other philosophies, other ways of seeing the world, and he rebuilt himself from scratch into someone who could love without conditions and care about people more than winning.
A little help from others can be a great blessing.
That's him having tea with a thief who literally tried to rob him. And this is what actually separates Iroh from his brother. He earned that wisdom. He stood at the exact crossroads Ozai did, had every reason in the world to become him, and yet chose differently. That's why he's the only person who could reach Zuko. He's talking to him as a man who already walked the exact road and found a way back.
Ever since I lost my son, I think of you as my own.
That's what Azula never had. Someone who survived the same system and come back from it with something real to say, with love. And Ozai knows it. Years later, when Zuko finally stands up to him and tells him the whole nation was built on a lie, watch what his father reaches for.
Your uncle has gotten to you, hasn't he?
He says it like an accusation, like someone got into his son and ruined him. And he's right, someone did get to Zuko. That's the entire reason Zuko is standing there in the first place. And this is the part that clicked for me way later. Iroh never sits Zuko down and gives him a lecture about Azula. He never spills out, here's what your sister is turning into. He's not that obvious. But every single time he guides Zuko, the underlining message is the same. Like the time he said this.
It is important to draw wisdom from many different places. If we take it from only one place, it becomes rigid and stale.
On the surface, he's talking about firebending, but watch what he's actually describing. Without ever saying her name, Iroh is diagnosing the exact thing that's wrong with Azula. She takes everything from one place, Ozai. Her firebending philosophy, her understanding of relationships, her definition of power, her sense of what she is. All of it from a single source. And Iroh is standing there in Season 2 telling Zuko that taking wisdom from only one place makes it rigid and stale. Then, in Lake Logai, when Zuko is about to capture Appa, chasing his destiny again, doing what his father told him to do, Iroh stops him and asks,
Is it your own destiny? Or is it a destiny someone else has tried to force on you?
And then the most important question.
Who are you? And what do you want?
Notice how Azula is never once asked these questions, because Ozai answered them for her before she could even talk. She was the prodigy, the one who was born lucky. Wanting something for herself was simply not part of how she was raised. She never got the room to even ask the question. And then in the crossroads of destiny, when Aang tells Iroh he couldn't let go of Katara to master the Avatar state, Iroh says,
Perfection and power are overrated. I think you are very wise to choose happiness and love.
Honestly, that's the whole thing right there, in a conversation that has nothing to do with Azula. Iroh telling a 12-year-old that choosing love over power is the wise move, that the kid who picks love is the one who ends up whole. And the show puts this line in the same episode where Azula is at the peak of her power, engineering a coup and winning everything.
Don't flatter yourself. You were never even a player.
And right in the middle of all that winning, she and Iroh end up in the same room over the same kid, both making him an offer.
It's time for you to choose good.
That's Iroh telling Zuko he's stronger and wiser and freer than he has ever been, and that the choice is his.
It's not too late for you, Zuko. You can still redeem yourself.
And that's Azula offering him the other version. Come home, get your honor back, get your father's love back, walk in as a hero. Look at what each of them thinks is worth having. Iroh is offering him herself. Azula is offering him Ozai's approval. She isn't lying to him, that's the best offer she has. Because it's the only thing anyone ever told her was worth wanting. She's handing her brother the exact deal she took.
Look into your heart and see what it is that you truly want.
Zuko never actually answers her, he just turns around and fights on her side. And here's the thing about the deal she just offered him. She's been living inside it her whole life. Now, let's start with what Azula was actually built on, because this is where Iroh's warnings start being a literal blueprint of what we're watching. Zuko says it himself in a quiet moment in Season 1, talking to an unconscious Aang in a blizzard.
My father says she was born lucky. He says I was lucky to be born.
Damn, that's cold. Ozai's whole move was comparison. He ranked his two kids against each other constantly and made sure both of them knew the result. And nobody talks about what that did to Azula, the one who came out on top. Being the favorite was the trap. It just had a nicer name. Ozai rewarded Azula's perfectionism and trained her cruelty. He taught her that power and dominance were the only things about a person that count.
And he considers you a miserable failure for not finding the Avatar.
He built in her an identity that was entirely dependent on being the weapon he designed. Her firebending philosophy? From Ozai. Her understanding of what relationships are for? From Ozai. Her definition of what makes someone worth respecting? From Ozai. She took wisdom from one place, just like Iroh warned against, except she did not choose to. It was done for her before she had the language to question it. And the thing is, she knows it. That's the part that breaks my heart a little even now. Azula knows exactly what she's doing, and she says it out loud in the hallucination scene.
Trust is for fools. Fear is the only reliable way.
It's the way she says it. She's such a complicated character. Honestly, I don't like her, and I still feel sorry for her. And I've never been able to hold those two things at once with any other villain. Everyone around her calls her a monster. She calls herself a monster. And the show refuses to let you leave it there. It keeps dragging you back to the kid underneath. I mean, this is what she does with actual emotion.
You're so dramatic.
She's got two friends, Mei and Ty Lee, and she knows they're not there by choice. She said it to Ty Lee's face once, pointing out that boys only like Ty Lee because she made it easy for them. Like she's not actually chosen, but just convenient.
You're not a challenge, you're a tease. It's not like they actually care who you are.
She cannot imagine being genuinely chosen. She has never experienced it. The only form of connection she has ever had is compliance, and she has been so thoroughly shaped by Ozai that she has filed compliance under love and moved on.
My own mother thought I was a monster. She was right, of course, but it still hurt.
Meanwhile, Zuko's learning exactly what Iroh is teaching, and he is unlearning the single rigid source that was his father.
Uncle, I'm sorry.
Your apology is accepted.
Zuko is asking himself who he actually is. Slowly and badly and with a lot of wrong turns, but he's asking. He's building something with more than one foundation. And the entire distance between where these two kids end up comes to one thing. Whether anyone ever handed them the questions Iroh kept asking. Azula was always there to remind Zuko he's nothing in his father's eyes.
Why would he want you back home, except to lock you up where you can no longer embarrass him?
But at this point, Zuko had won his father over, and he's not even sure it's what he wants anymore. So here's the cruelest part of the parallel. In Season 3, when Azula is at her most powerful and everything is working, Zuko is at his most lost. He's back in the Fire Nation, he has his honor, he has his father's approval, he has everything he thought he wanted, but he's miserable.
The son my father wanted. But I wasn't me.
He's sitting with the full weight of what he chose in the catacombs under Ba Sing Se, and it's eating him alive. Azula reads this as weakness. She's watching Zuko struggling with guilt and cannot understand why he's simply not enjoying the win. And I think this is the moment where the show is most complicit about what separates them. Zuko cannot turn the guilt off because he's been with Iroh long enough to know what it means. He has questions now. He can look inward and recognize what he's looking at. Azula has nothing like that. She doesn't even have a framework for guilt because Ozai never built her one.
I'm sorry it has to end this way, brother.
No, you're not.
Feeling bad about a win is not a concept that exists in the world he built for her. And then it all comes apart. Here's the twist. Nobody actually beats her to do it. It happens in a prison with the two people closest to her, and it takes one sentence.
I love Zuko more than I fear you.
No, you miscalculated.
And then Ty Lee blocks Azula to protect Mei. I want to be really specific about what just happened, because I think this scene gets treated as a big dramatic betrayal, but it's something sharper than that. This is Iroh's warning from bitter work arriving in real time. Taking wisdom, taking everything from only one place makes it rigid and stale.
Trust is for fools. Fear is the only reliable way.
Mei stayed because she knew exactly what crossing Azula would cost. She recruited Ty Lee by setting the safety net under her circus act on fire and letting the animals loose while she was still up there performing, then handing her flowers afterwards like nothing happened. Fear was the whole structure. There was no second layer. So the second Mei stops being afraid, quietly, choosing love over fear, the whole thing caves in. And Azula has nothing to fall back on.
You both fools!
So she says that as the guards arrest Mei and Ty Lee. And I think that line, delivered in that moment, tells you everything. She doesn't really have a response that goes deeper than that. She cannot say what she actually feels, which is that the scenario she's facing, someone choosing freely to protect another person over fear her, simply was not supposed to exist in the world she was given. Ozai did not build that scenario into the architecture. He taught her that fear was the only reliable way, and fear just failed in the most personal possible context, with the closest people she had. Remember what Iroh told Aang back in Season 2? Perfection and power are overrated, and choosing love is the wise move? Mei just did exactly that to Azula's face, and it gets worse.
Is everything ready for our departure?
There has been a change of plans, Azula.
Azula gets summoned by her father, expecting to hear she's coming with him. He tells her she's staying behind. She's furious, so he hands her something to shut her up. He makes her Fire Lord. On paper, that's the highest honor there is. The exact thing she was shaped her whole life to deserve.
From this moment on, I will be known as the Phoenix King.
Then he crowns himself Phoenix King, ruler of the world, and leaves for the biggest military operation in Fire Nation history without her. Fire Lord of what exactly? He just made the throne worthless. He promoted her and threw her away at the same time. And Azula is not stupid, she gets it instantly. The one source everything came from, the one approval that ever counted. The one person who was supposed to pick her over everyone handed her a crown and walked out the door. And again, she has no framework for it. Ozai gave her a complete map of the world, and on that map, being chosen by him was the destination. There was never anywhere else she was allowed to go to, so the breakdown starts within hours.
Tell me why, on the most important day of my life, you've decided to leave a pit in my cherry?
She fires servants for minor mistakes, banishes Lo and Lee, her personal advisors, the people who have been with her for years, banishes her own Dai Li agents, and then alone in front of her mirror, trying to get her hair right for the coronation. She cuts it with scissors and starts hallucinating her mother, Ursa, in the mirror, looking at her with love.
No, I love you, Azula. I do.
The hallucination is the most revealing thing in Azula's entire arc. Because out of everything her mind could have conjured in that room, it conjures her mother saying, "I love you," and Azula screams at it and shatters the glass. I think about this a lot. Out of everything Azula survived, the thing that finally breaks her is someone offering her love, and she physically can't hold it. Her whole life, some part of her has known her mother was afraid of her, that Ursa looked at her and saw something wrong.
Even you fear me.
There's a moment in Season 2 where Iroh sits down for tea with Toph, and she tells him she doesn't need anyone taking care of her.
There is nothing wrong with letting people who love you help you.
He gave that to a kid he'd met 10 minutes earlier. Nobody ever gave it to his niece. And that's what Azula is holding in the mirror. Her mother is standing there offering her exactly that. And Azula answers it with the only thing she was ever taught about being loved. That it's a weakness and that people only stay because they're afraid to leave. She'd rather be feared by her mother than face the possibility that she was loved and never knew how to take it. Then comes the final showdown.
Wait! You want to be Fire Lord? Fine, let's settle this. Just you and me, brother.
She challenges Zuko to an Agni Kai at the coronation.
Agni Kai!
You're on.
But even here, although spiraling, she's still thinking. She knows she cannot take both Zuko and Katara together, so she separates them by making it a duel between siblings. Even breaking down, Azula is still operating 3 moves ahead.
She's playing you.
But this time, the fight goes wrong for her. She doesn't know it yet, but Zuko is different now. Ozai trained both his kids to firebend out of rage. Zuko spent the whole show unlearning that, and by Season 3, he goes and finds the last dragons, who show him fire can come from somewhere else entirely. And by the finale, that's where he comes from. Zuko is winning, he's wearing her down. And then she aims the lightning at Katara instead. Zuko takes the full blast and falls. For a second, it feels like this might be the end of him. Azula might win. But then Katara sees an opportunity to chain Azula to the grate. And just like that, we're back at the beginning. Azula on the ground, chained and alone, crying hysterically. So now you've seen all of it. The rise, the method, the collapse. And I want to come back to Iroh's exact words and put them directly against what we just watched. Because when you do that, the precision of what he was saying becomes genuinely uncomfortable.
Understanding others, the other elements, and the other nations will help you become whole.
Azula did none of that. She took everything from Ozai. When that source elevated her and left, she had nothing. Iroh told Zuko this in Season 2, and the show ran the demonstration in Season 3.
Who are you? And what do you want?
Azula was never asked this. Ozai told her who she was, and she spent her entire life becoming that. There was no inward space. There was no version of Azula that existed outside of the weapon Ozai designed. And when the weapon got tossed aside, there was nobody home underneath. She never got the time or the safety to find out who that person might have been.
Perfection and power are overrated. You are very wise to choose happiness and love.
Azula never got to choose happiness or love. She was not raised to consider them valid goals, and the people closest to her eventually chose love over fear her, and she had nothing to do with it because she had never given them the love to choose. Here's the thing I keep coming back to. Iroh knew. He knew exactly what he was looking at because he'd been it. He was the Dragon of the West. He'd lived inside the same machine that made Ozai and Azula. He'd believed all of it. And Liu Ten's death forced him to confront exactly where those foundations led. It forced him to think.
I suggest you think about what it is that you want from your life, and why.
So he rebuilt himself from the damage and saw what the system cost when it ran to its conclusion. And then he spent 3 seasons standing next to a nephew who was being swallowed by the same machinery, handing him the exact tools he would need to get out of it. The tragedy is that those tools were only ever handed to Zuko. Azula was on the other side of the family, and nobody ever thought to ask her who she was or what she wanted.
I promised my uncle that I would restore the honor of the Fire Nation. And I will.
2 kids, same broken family, same machine. One of them had someone who'd walk the dark road and come back to pull him off it. The other one got left behind to become exactly what she was built for. In the end, I guess we can all see Zuko is the younger version of Iroh, and Azula is the younger version of Ozai. Azula never got a happy ending, but some of the saddest villains did, Zuko included, and that video is right here.